guys, just preparing some brass, 223 brass for my Ruger Mark 77. I've worked my way through to a reasonable load, so I'm going to load about 100 cartridges with the load that shot the best, and I'm going to try it at the range, Silverdale, just to confirm that it is accurate enough for me for hunting. Add to about 100 to 100 to 200 meters, and just wanted to show you how I prep my brass. Basically, this brass has been deep primed and resized, full length resized, and now I'm just cutting it to trimming it to length. I'm using the Lee trimmer, but instead of doing it by hand, I put it in this vertical drill. It's a bit of an old drill, but it still works fine. I just wanted to show you guys how I do it, so I'm gonna try to set up my phone here to video the process. Okay, so first of all, you grab your brass that you need to resize or trim to length. Sorry, you stick it in this shell holder here. The Lee system is simple but effective. Okay, and you tighten this a little bit here, and then you stick it in here, and then this piece here is the regulation or recommended minimum length for your cartridge, so it will chamber properly in your 223. So when this is spinning, there's a cutting head here, there's a trimmer. I'll show you, give you a close-up. There's the cutting teeth for this thing. It's like it's got a sharp edge to it. Must be carbide or something. It's pretty strong metal. So when this thing is spinning, I stick it in here, and then the cutting head will just trim the brass to the correct length. Then once it stops cutting, then that means it's got to the correct length, and that's it. So here we go, I'm gonna give it a go, hang on. Okay, you'll probably see bits of brass flying off as I cut it, so here we go. Insert it, and you can see bits of brass flying. Once that's done, you take it off, and you can see it's been trimmed. You can see the little shiny bits. Okay, we'll do a couple more. There you go, that's all it takes. Instead of doing it by hand, there you go, that one took a fair bit off. Once it stops cutting, the brass is to the proper length. That one didn't cut anything, it didn't need to be trimmed, it's still within the allowable dimensions. See, that one didn't cut. Some of these are longer than others, these have been shot more times than the others. That one doesn't need trimming. So doing this by hand, with me turning the cutting head, after doing 40-50 shells, it gets tiring. There we go, that one took a fair bit off. So I guess you get the idea. So this is the brass I still have to cut to the trim to length, and this is the brass that I've already cut this afternoon, like in half an hour, probably less, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I probably will, you know, in half an hour I'll do 100 pieces of brass, which is pretty efficient using the electric upright drill head, and I've just attached the cutting bit to that. So here's some that I've already basically got ready to prime. I've prepared this ready. It's already been chamfered and deburred. So once you trim it to length, you have to use the chamfering and deburring tool, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay. Alright, so I use a Lyman chamfering and deburring tool. So you first use the chamfering tool, and you make a little, just trim a little bit of the sharp edge that's created when you trim your brass. So you only have to do a little bit just to take away that sharp edge so the bullet can go in more easily. Then once you do the chamfering, you gotta deburr. You basically do the same to the outside, and you use this other tool. And that's it. That'll just make the fitting of the bullet a lot easier, and it'll allow for the bullet to be seated properly. So, okay, I'll probably do a couple more pieces just to show you the process. Okay, a little bit faster. Cheers. Chamfering. Deburring. Now, you can buy machines that do this. You've got basically an electric machine that's got all these heads spinning around already, bzzz, on a base, and then you just pop your brass from one to the other and it does the job. Or there are machines that do the trimming, the chamfering and the deburring all in one action. But I don't have a couple of $100 to spare at the moment to buy one of those. So I gotta do it the old Mark I method, which is by hand. And which is not too bad. It's just this is my hobby, so I enjoy doing it, and it gives you a good chance to inspect all your brass, make sure there's no cracks, make sure it's in good condition, there's no rust. So you don't want to have a catastrophic failure of the shell in your chamber. That just is not something that you want. It'll damage your rifle. Worst case scenario, it could injure you, you could lose an eye, or in the very worst case, you could get a fatal bloody injury through the eye or something. You know, a piece of metal can fly through your eye. So you definitely don't want that. So I take my time. You know, I don't. If I load 100 rounds a year, that's probably heaps. I just want to find the right load for my hunting rifle so that I know that out to 200 meters I'm comfortable where the shot is going to go. So factory ammo is okay. I'm lucky I found factory ammo that shoots well out of my rifle. But by doing the reloading myself, finding the right bullet, finding the right powder, primer and bullet combination that I can test and make sure that it shoots properly out of my rifle will give me better results. And then when I'm in a hunting situation, I'll know that shot is gonna go hit the mark. So that's why I reload. It's a hobby, but I also use it to make sure that when I'm hunting, I want to have a bullet that is gonna do the job every time. Cheers, guys. The bullets that I'll be loading on these shells are these Nosler shots, which are hunting ammo. Pointed soft points, which come in this 500 round pack, and basically are these pointed soft points. So that'll, upon hitting the target, the animal, the soft tip will cause the bullet to deform, and then that will create a bigger injury to the animal, and it would precipitate a quick and humane death. So the bullet is not that big, but when it's flying at 3,000 plus feet per second, even though it's only 55 grains, it does the job. This will kill a pig. You know, a well-placed shot in a pig will definitely do the job, or a deer, or a fox will definitely be gone with one of them. Well and truly gone. So yeah, alright guys, I just wanted to give you a quick video on my reloading, processing the brass, and eventually I'll show you when I'm doing some reloading. Okay, cheers.